What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. So what I do on my channel is I talk about the occult sciences and I break them down to a very practical level so that you can use them and apply them in your day-to-day life, okay? Now, what I'm going to be talking about in today's video is something that I know a lot of people want to know more about, and it's actually very simple. I think people overcomplicate this. So what I'm going to go into in today's video is how do you find your own spirit guides, okay? Because we hear all the time, you know, you hear people talk about their spirit guides, you hear certain things about spirit guides. It's a very talked about subject, and the fact of the matter is, yes, there are certain types of energetic intelligences that are guiding you in your life. They're trying to help you make decisions that are going to be in your best interest. So once again, what I'm going to be going into in this video is how do you recognize them? You know, how do you pinpoint it? How do you find it? And how do you not get too overcomplicated when it comes to this matter? You know, it's not that complex. It's actually very simple, and it gets put right in front of your face. Okay. Okay, so jumping right in. This is what I want to say, okay? The best way to find your own personal spirit guides is going to actually be something that most people have no idea about. Okay, it's going to be something that most people they're gonna laugh when I say this, but it's very true. When you go about your day-to-day life, you want to be aware. Okay, you want to be open-minded, okay, and once again you want to be aware. So what does that mean? Be conscious of your surroundings, be conscious of your interactions, be conscious of what you say, be conscious of what people say to you, because your spirit guides will communicate to you through your environment and through your interactions. So for example, I'm here on the beach, right? Whenever you're on a beach, there's always a different type of energy. Okay, there's always like there's a very powerful energy. There's a lot of open-minded people. There's a lot of art around here. There's a lot of creativity. And I may be walking, and then I see a piece of art that someone drew, whether it's graffiti, whether it's on a piece of paper, and that art may be a god, it may be a spirit, it may be a god, it may be some sort of entity or deity. Now, that's one way that these spirits can communicate with you. They can communicate with you through visual pictures. And once again, it will come in your environment. So you may be having a conversation with somebody, and they may bring up a certain spirit or a certain name that is the same name as a certain spirit. So for example, let's say that you're starting to be curious about the spirit Lilith, right? You start studying about this spirit, you start trying to learn more, you try to figure out who is Lilith and what is Lilith. Is it even real? You know, that's probably one of the questions you have when you first get into this type of study, is like, is this stuff even real? Well, the next thing you know, or you may notice, is that you're going about your day-to-day life, and then you end up meeting someone and their name is Lily, right? You meet somebody and their name is Lily. Now, to the average person, that's going to go right over their head. Okay, they're not going to make that connection. But that is how these spirits can make themselves known. They're way more intelligent than you may think. Okay, and you have that level of intelligence within yourself too. It's your own spirit, right? So as I said, you may be studying about this spirit Lilith, trying to learn more, and then there's a literal physical manifestation that comes along your path, and only if you're aware of it, then you're going to be able to take advantage of it, right? But if you're not aware of it, then it's just going to go right over your head, and you know, it is what it is. You're just not going to know, and you're just going to be like, oh, it was just another person. Okay, so this is the level of awareness that I'm talking about. The first step is you got to start to be aware. Okay, you got to start paying attention, realizing your own spirit nature. realize your own divine nature. Literally, there is not one thing that happens that's not supposed to happen. Do you understand that? Every single thing is interconnected. It's all threaded together. So when you start to approach your day-to-day life from that perspective, now you're paying more attention to every little thing that's happening. And I'm not saying to overwhelm yourself, but I'm saying just recognize that everything is happening, and there is a real deep meaning behind everything. And the more aware that you become, the more you practice trying to be conscious of all these connections, the better you get at it and the more you get to see. That's what shamans are. Shamans are people that are seers, right? They see all the deep meanings in every single interaction, and they see all the divine principles and all the divine symbols within reality, right? It's the same concept. So once again, what I'm saying is that your spirit guides, they will communicate to you very easily through your day-to-day life, right? Like, especially when you start studying, right? Like, let's say you go on YouTube, you go on YouTube and you start searching up spirits, or you start searching, you start trying to learn new things about the occult and about the spirit realm, about your spirit guides. You will notice that certain videos will pop up with certain spirits that are being talked about in those videos. That is a form of communication. When a spirit keeps being brought up in your day-to-day life, or even if it's on the top of your mind, this is another one people let go right over. This is another one that people let fly right over their head. When you have an inner pull towards a certain spirit, that is a sign that that spirit is a prominent spirit in your life, and that is a sign that that spirit is most likely a spirit guide. Don't trick yourself, okay? If you're drawn to it, there's a reason why you're drawn to it. Don't let anyone else tell you, oh, that's an evil spirit, oh, that's wrong, that's right. You will never get the right answers from other people. You're gonna have to figure that out yourself, okay? But that is another major indicator that that is a spirit guide. Like, just think right now, whoever's watching this video, just think to yourself, what am I drawn to when it comes to spirits? What am I drawn to? What are my favorite ones? Who are my favorite ones? And then ask yourself the question, why? Well, guess what? Those ones that you come up with, those are spirit guides for you. There's a reason why you're energetically attracted to those spirits. And that's just something I want to say. And you strengthen your relationship to the other, you could say the other planes, the spirit realm. You strengthen your relationship. So the more that you strengthen your relationship to that spirit realm, the more you're going to recognize that you have many spirit guides. Okay, a lot of people think that when you have spirit guides, that only means you have like 2 or 3 at the most. The reality is that there are millions. That's not even the right number. There's no number for it. There are so many spirits. I mean, think about this. I am a spirit. I have a spirit, right? I am a spirit. I am a spirit guide to people, okay? My own physical body and my spirit, me as who I am, I'm a spirit guide to people. If you've ever met somebody that was a guide in your life, that's a spirit guide. They have a spirit, right? Don't get over complex with it. Don't think that they have to be like a god or a ghost to be a spirit. No, we're spirits living here on earth right now, okay? We just have these physical bodies, and then there are some spirits that don't have the physical bodies right now. But once again, what I was saying is that you will recognize, the more you start working with spirits, that a lot of spirits start coming out of, you could almost say, the blue. In reality, they were there the whole time. They're intelligent, but you were not aware of them. But they will start coming out the blue, and they will start giving you knowledge, and they'll start giving you guidance, and they'll start helping you walk down the path that you're trying to go. But you will never know that unless you start, once again, working with these spirits. Sometimes it takes that breakthrough. Because before I was even into the occult, before I even considered working with spirits, I never knew about any of this. So they weren't prominent for me. They didn't show themselves to me because I wasn't open. It's not that they weren't showing themselves to me because they didn't like me, or I wasn't worthy, or whatever people may think, it's because I wasn't allowing it to happen. And the same thing happens with other people. It's your own self that shuts off the ability to let these powers influence your life and to then gain these same powers yourself. Okay? So that's what I want to say. You know, you'll realize you don't have just 3 spirit guides. There are so many spirits that are out there that will help you on your journey. But this is another thing you want to understand. There are a certain number of spirits that are the most prominent in your path. For your own astrological makeup, your own biological makeup, there are certain spirits that resonate with you very highly and have a huge influence on you. And once again, you will only know those spirits once you dive into the spirit realm and you begin working with them, okay? And you work with them from the perspective of evolution, okay? We're not working with them to get nice things, to get cars, to get all this. Yes, that comes down the road, that is a fact, and yes, you definitely do want to, you know, you do want to improve your life working with spirits 100%. But if you begin working with spirits and you're not coming from the right place, that can be very dangerous, because now you're interacting with things that are intelligent. Not only are these things intelligent, but they have a goal, they have an agenda, they have a purpose, and that purpose is to help you evolve, because the more you evolve, simultaneously, the more they evolve. But if you're only focused on these little mundane things, the next car, the next person falling in love with you, controlling people's minds so that you can get your way, if that's your only focus, you're in a realm of risk, because once again, these are intelligent spirits and you may psych yourself out and you may think you're a lot more powerful than what you really are, and then you come across somebody that has a lot more knowledge and power than you, and you may cross a boundary and you may get yourself screwed over. And it can just, you know, there is a lot of things that can happen, and I've seen it. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, but once again, if you have the perspective of evolution, anyone who's focused on their growth, and that's why you're working in the spirit realm, or that's why you're approaching the occult, you're gonna be good, okay? That's all I need to know. Like, as long as you're focused on your growth and your evolution, you will make it, you will be good. It's not gonna be an easy ride, there's gonna be challenges. These spirits, they can invite challenge and obstacle in your life to challenge you, to make you a stronger person as you get out of them. It's like triggering certain evolutionary events to take place that normally wouldn't be able to take place unless you trigger it. Okay, it's like so if you understand astrology, you know how the planets move around the solar system, and when they're in certain degrees, it affects you on a psychological, physical, emotional, and mental level. Well, the same thing happens when you work with a spirit that has those planetary connections. You're working with the spirit, but that spirit is directly channeling that planetary energy on you, which is evolutionary, right? So you're really tapping into a cheat code when it comes to evolution. And once again, this knowledge is sacred. I'm making this video, it's gonna go public, but not everyone's gonna watch it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where I'm gonna leave it. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and hit the subscribe button, because I post videos as often as I can. And definitely make sure you go to the description, and you're gonna see that very first link at the top. It says My Patreon. Definitely make sure you check that out. On my Patreon, I have exclusive content that is not on my YouTube channel. Some of that content is going to be geared towards actual occult practices that I perform on camera, and I teach you how to perform them yourself. For example, how to do an invocation, which once you learn how to do properly, will give you more psychic protection. It'll give you more it will give you more spiritual guidance. It will give you more psychic power, occult power. Okay, invocation is fundamental. So that's what's on my Patreon. Then the other bit of the videos are going to be geared towards educational entertainment, which is a video that's just like this. Now, in order to gain access to the exclusive content, you have to at least be a tier 2 member or up. In order to be a tier 2, it costs $9.95 a month, and that is less than $1 a day if you do the math. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to afford that with the value that I have on there, and that's a fact. Okay? As you go up in tiers, the benefits increase as well. With that being said, I'd love to give a special shout out to the top tier members of the Patreon. Their names are going to be mentioned right below that Patreon link. Huge shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate all of you that are a part of the Patreon. And then other than that, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up right here. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.